When I was 20, 25 years old, I remembered thinking about retirement in this context. That's going to be the end of my work life. And I didn't even go any further than that. Just simply, that's the end of my career. But now that I'm retired, I recognize that's not quite the reality. That's not the definition that I would have given myself back then had I known what retirement is actually looking like right now. For example, did you know that 44% of Americans are doing some kind of side hustle for supplementing their income, and a large number of those individuals are individuals either in retirement or just simply steps away from entering into retirement. Now, not every one of those individuals are pursuing a side hustle to supplement their income. Some of them are not doing it out of necessity, but rather out of turning a passion into something more fulfilling in retirement. Like, for example, me, I have turned a YouTube channel, monetized it, doing photography, monetized that kind of work. The bottom line is that the majority of individuals in retirement are looking at supplementing their income just simply to maintain a certain standard of lifestyle. The amount of money that they're making on these side hustles is pretty modest. 70% make less than $500 a month. That's quite a modest amount, right? But $500 a month could be the difference between living in total darkness and paying your utility bill. Now, there's also 20% of individuals, they've made a side hustle that's turned them into averaging right around $2,000 a month, between $500 and $2,000 a month. Nice little income there. And that's giving them the ability to take some nice vacations each year, spending more time with grandkids, doing things that give them a little bit more luxury. And then you've got another group out there, 10% of the individuals that are making far more than $2,000 a month. Some of them are even surpassing what they were making with their last company before they retired. So what are these kind of side hustles? If you want to make the most money, I got to tell you, consulting or freelancing work where you're leveraging your skills and your knowledge from your past work history, that's going to pay the most. If you want to do something where, hey, I don't want to be spending a lot of hours or anything, I just want to try to build up a decent $500 a month or so to pay that electric bill, then monetizing hobbies is an option out there. A lot of people have done this. Maybe it's monetizing a hobby of photography where now all of a sudden you're taking headshots or portraits or weddings, woodworking, any kind of arts and crafts. There's pet sitting, there's house sitting. That's very popular with retirees. In fact, I got to tell you, I did a video on this, one of my career-related videos. I'm going to put a link to it in the upper right-hand corner. Side hustles for retirees. There's also part-time retail. If you go into a lot of these large stores, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, you'll see a lot of older individuals out there. I know people personally that are retired that are working in this kind of environment. You have drivers out there, Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats. These are also opportunities to earn money. In fact, when I was traveling before I left corporate America, whenever I landed in a new city, I would always take Uber or Lyft. And I can't tell you how many times that it was a driver that was retired and they love the work. They love the work. Of course, I believe they had to do it to supplement their income, but they had no complaints doing it. And then of course you've got online work, you've got virtual assistants and bookkeeping, and of course, hey, go ahead and create a YouTube channel. Do what I'm doing. This has been monetized as well. There's also some hidden benefits with these side gigs. And it's not all doom and gloom by any means. And I did talk about how there's that 16% that really are pursuing a passion, but Outside of that, even if for these individuals that are doing it out of necessity, it gives them mental stimulation. It gives us mental stimulation. I shouldn't them. I'm part of the them as well. But it gives us this mental stimulation. It keeps our minds sharp. It gives us social connections that we lost when we left our companies. That's something that, it combats that isolation. It gives us a sense of purpose, and that's a big thing. I got to tell you that when I finish this video and it gets published, it's a sense of purpose for me. I got, hey, that one done. Structure and routine. That's something else that we lose when we retire. And also the satisfaction of personal growth. So these are all things that you need to really consider. But there's also limitations. And I do want to touch base on those limitations as well. So one is physical limitations. We're not as young as we used to be. We may not have the strength to be moving heavy objects around. We may not have the energy to be standing on our feet for 8 hours a day. You got to take this into consideration. There's also the financial considerations as well. If you're not at full retirement age and you're collecting Social Security, you know that you can only make a certain amount of money before it starts affecting your Social Security benefits. Now, that certain amount of money changes each year. I'm going to let you do the research on that, but just know that you're going to be limited by how much you can make. Otherwise, it's going to affect your Social Security. I think it's like you lose $1 for every $2 you make over that amount. And then there's also some limitations in technology. And the reason why I say this, I spent 25 years in technology. I've been out of that environment for 10 years. I can tell you the rapid pace of technology. I try to keep my finger on the pulse, but I know that I would have to go back and learn a few things if I wanted to get into something that would require having a better knowledge of technology. But you know what? Here's the positive thing about that. We have a lot of resources out there. Coursera, Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, Skillshare. There's a lot of ways that we can stay and get on top of the technology. So don't let that hold you back. But the bottom line, looking ahead, economists are telling us that in 2027, which is really not that far away, we can expect 26 million more Americans to join in these side hustles. And that's a large number. And financial planners are already incorporating what they say would estimate the income from side hustles into the entire retirement planning package. So there you go. A little bit of information on where we stand with retirement. I hope you found this video informative and useful. If you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate it. Hit the bell notification as I do upload new videos each week, and I would hate for you to miss one. Thanks again for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.